Welcome to the first class on linear differential equations, unit 2. So the previous unit that was dedicated for matrices and solution of system of equations basically, and then we discussed eigenvalues, diagonalization and quadratic forms, those concepts, and entirely it was dedicated for linear algebra. So this class, this unit, linear differential equations of second and higher order with constant coefficients. So this unit is entirely dedicated for the discussion of solution of linear differential equations. I hope you are all familiar with differential equations, because unit 5 of your first semester course, Engineering Mathematics 1, you have discussed ordinary differential equations and two methods also you have discussed there. What are that methods? Exact equations and linear differential equations. So differential equations is known to you. Differential equation is a known term. So just I'll recall what is it, and then I'll come to linear differential equation. See, we are all familiar with equations. Okay, let us forget about it. We have variables, say x and y. These are called variables. If it assumes different values corresponding to different situations or different conditions. Okay, if it assumes same value, then it will be a constant. So that's about constant and variables. Usually x and y refers to variables, and we write this a, b, c, these we write for constants. K baritive or c baritive. More oftenly we use c for constants. So I have two variables here. So let us forget about these constants. I have two variables here, x and y. There must be some relation between those two. If I consider two different variables that are not related to one another, then that is not of any interest. So I will consider two variables which are interrelated. That means one is depending on the other. For example, I will assume y is depending on x. So then it will be written as y equal to y of x. Okay, just forget about these two. Don't worry. You have two variables, x and y, and there is some relationship between those two. How you can write that relationship? It may be x less than y. Okay, y less than x, and many other operations you can use. And among such operations, one the most conveniently we use is this equality sign. See, this represents a relation involving variables and symbol less than, and this also represents a relation which involves variables and an operator, you can say, greater than or less than. Okay, you can know less than symbol it is. And there is one more. It also involves variables, and along with the variables you have this equality sign. For mathematical purpose, this type of equation plays very important role compared to these two, x less than y or y less than x. These are called inequalities. These are called inequalities. We don't prefer to study inequalities, especially in our applied mathematics. And this is called, this we don't call as equalities. This inequality ಆದಮೇಲೆ equality ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಆ ತರ think ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. This we call as equation. Then what basically an equation is? An equation is a relation between two variables, connected through equality sign, ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ a relation that involves variables and equality sign is called an equation. A relation which involves equality sign and variables is called equation. So this is an equation. Similarly, you can take y equal to 2x. It is an equation. Y equal to x square. This is an equation. You can write equation in more than two variables also. X plus y plus z equal to c. So previous unit ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ತುಂಬಾ equations ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ ರೀತಿ. That also you can call as equation. ಅಲ್ಲಿ equation ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಲ್ವಾ, system of simultaneous equations. So basically that is also equation. So equation ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is a relation between two variables involving equality sign. Equality sign ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಆದ್ರೂ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. So y equal to 2x ಇದೆ, ಇನ್ನೆಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ y equal to x by 2 ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So the thing is, it should involve equality sign and variables. That's all. So this is an equation. So we came to know what is an equation. Next question is, what is differential equation? See, basically we started with relation. Actually we started with variables. If there is only one variable, there is nothing to do. It is just a variable. When it comes to variables more than one, then relation. Then from relation to equation. From equation to differential equation. See, this is how we are moving from step by step or step to step. What is the differential equation? What is the difference between equation and differential equation? So that you have to think carefully. If you look into equation and differential equation, those two words differ by this one, differential, isn't it? So that is the only difference between equation and differential equation. That means differential equation is basically an equation which involves an equation which involves something extra I have to add here to make it differential equation. What is that extra? That extra is differential coefficient. What differential coefficient you have to add? That is the next question. So differential coefficient or derivative. Differential coefficient or derivative. Next question is, what differential coefficient or what derivative you have to add? Now you have to specify dependent and independent variables. For an equation, it is not necessary to mention which is the dependent and which one is the independent variable. But for differential equation, you have to mention it. What is the dependent variable and what is the independent variable? That is very much important, because with that base we are going to write differential coefficient or derivative. Okay, that is why we need to mention differential coefficient, dependent variable and independent variable. Now we have here y equal to 2x. You can treat y as the dependent variable and x is an independent variable, or y as an independent variable and x as a dependent variable. If you have only two variables, you can interchange roles, no problem. See, as you change the value of x here, I am concentrating this equation. As you change the value of x, value of y changes. But obviously in opposite direction, if you change the value of y, suppose if you take y equal to 2, obviously x must take 1. So if there are two variables, then you have to consider any one as dependent variable and another one as independent variable. Now here I will consider x as the independent variable and y as the dependent variable. Why? Because in most of the cases we consider x as the independent variable and y as the dependent variable. Okay, we have fixed ourselves to that criteria, or you can say, or that parameter we have fixed. Now taking this y equal to 2x, which is an ordinary equation, I will add the derivative of dependent variable, with respect to the independent variable. Now something extra is added. So extra is added. Now you cannot call this as just an equation. Even if you call it as just an equation, there is nothing wrong. But specifically, it is not just an equation. It is differential equation. So an equation involving derivatives is called differential equation. An equation involving derivatives is called differential equation. So that is about differential equation. Now come to this linear differential equation. Here is one more condition is added. So differential equation is linear differential equation. Actually ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. Actually ಇದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, of second and higher order with constant coefficients. See, that is the heading of this unit. That requires at least 200 of line to write. Next, what is linear differential equation? Linear, you can observe that word. That is something related to line. How we write equation of a line? Y equal to mx plus c. When you say that a differential equation is linear, answer is each term of that differential equation is of degree 1. A differential equation is linear if it has to satisfy two conditions. Actually, single condition is enough, but let us elaborate it, no problem. Each term or the dependent and independent variables, occurs in first degree. So if you look at each term, the dependent variable and independent variable should have degree 1. Second one is they must not be multiplied together. They means dependent and independent variables and the derivatives. Oh, sorry, I forgot it. And the derivatives also, they must not multiply together. More simply, you can say that a differential equation is linear if each term is of degree 1, whether it is in dependent variables or independent variables or derivatives, but each term should be of degree 1. Then we say that equation is linear differential equation. Second and higher order, that depends on, that should be of degree 1. I think I said it properly. Each term should be of degree 1. Second and higher order, that depends on the order of the derivative. I think degree and order of an equation that you have, differential equation, you have studied again in first semester. I don't discuss that here. With constant coefficients. Okay, that is not a matter. We'll discuss it. Let us come to this. Actually, our syllabus starts from here. let us start from here. An equation of the form dny by dx power n plus a1 dn minus 1 y by dx power n minus 1 plus a2 dn minus 2 y by dx power n minus 2 plus and so on, a1 into dy by dx plus a naught into y equal to phi of x is called linear differential equation of nth order with constant coefficients. This is called linear differential equation of nth order. This order I had to mention, of nth order with constant coefficients. So the coefficients occurring in these differential equations are all constants. A naught, a1, a2 and so on, an are all constants. Right? So this is the standard form of linear differential equation of order n with constant coefficients. See, there will be two types actually. With constant coefficients is of one type, with variable coefficients is of second type. Actually, for the last chapter of this unit, we will consider differential equations of variable coefficients. So time being, let us fix to constant coefficients. Now, see, every time we cannot write differential equation in this form because it is lengthy and we are lazy. We have to make this notation simpler. So we will do one thing. Put d equal to d by dx. Put d equal to d by dx. Then this will take the form. Try to understand how this happens. D power n y plus a1 d power n minus 1 y plus a2 d power n minus 2 y plus and so on, a1 d plus a naught into y equal to phi of x. Again, this can be further simplified as d power n plus a1 d power n minus 1 plus a2 d power n minus 2 plus and so on, a1 d plus a naught, okay, I forgot y here, yes, that is a mistake, times of y equal to phi of x. Okay, so again this can be written as, let us have further simplified notation. See, this actually represents a polynomial in capital D, so that I will take as f of d. F of d into y equal to phi of x. F of d into y equal to phi of x. So this is treated as the standard form of or general form of linear differential equation of order n. See, this is equation 1 and call this as equation 2. Both are similar or both are equivalent. So generally or oftenly we consider this expression f of d into y equal to phi of x. A linear differential equation is said to be number 1, homogeneous if phi of x equal to 0, non-homogeneous if phi of x not equal to 0. Usually when we define homogeneous function and homogeneous equation, students get out. First semester we discussed again homogeneous. There they gave different definition, and now they are giving different definition. That's what that usually comes to your mind. But try to be clear in this matter. Homogeneous function is different from homogeneous equation. Homogeneous function is different from homogeneous equation. Both are entirely different concepts, but the word homogeneous is in common. I'll agree with that. But what you studied in your first semester is homogeneous function. If it can be written in the form x power n into g of x by y, y by x, x power n into g of y by x, or y power n into g of x by y, then it will be a homogeneous function it is. But here it is homogeneous equation. Usually given any set of equations, we say that equation is homogeneous if the constant term is equal to 0 simultaneously. Now you can recall system of equations we discussed in the last unit. There also we wrote system of equations, then we call that system of equation as homogeneous if bi equal to 0 for all I, and non-homogeneous if bi not equal to 0 for at least one I. So same thing is repeated here. If the right hand term is equal to 0, then it will be a homogeneous system of equations. If the right hand term is not equal to 0, it will be non-homogeneous system of equations. Yeah, I think that point is clear to you, I hope. Now with homogeneous and non-homogeneous equations, now I'll start with the solution of linear differential equations. Solution of homogeneous homogeneous linear differential equation. How to find the solution of homogeneous linear differential equation? See, as we discussed in the previous minute, homogeneous differential equation will be of this form: f of d into y equal to 0. That is the standard form of homogeneous linear differential equation, because the right hand term is 0. Okay, so I'll consider this f of d into y equal to 0. Consider the homogeneous system of equation. To discuss the solution of this, I will not consider nth order equation. Instead, I will consider second order differential equation. As the method is entirely same, you can roll over to that nth order easily. So I will consider second order equation. So I will consider second order linear differential equation. I have to take n equal to 2. D square y by dx square plus a1 into dy by dx plus a2 y equal to 0. So this is the standard form of second order linear differential equation with constant coefficients. Okay, a1, a2 are constants. Now this can be rewritten as, this is equivalent to d square y plus a1 into dy plus a2y equal to 0. Okay, and this is again equivalent to d square plus a1d plus a2 times y equal to 0. We can call this as f of d. So f of d will be d square plus a1d plus a2, which is a polynomial of degree n, degree 2 here. So I have taken n equal to 2. There is a theorem in algebra which says if you consider any polynomial of degree n, then it should have, any polynomial of degree n should have at least n roots. At least n roots. So if you consider polynomial of degree n, then it should have n roots, at least n roots, counting their multiplicities. That is very important. So this is a polynomial of degree 2. If I apply that rule, that theorem, it must have at least 2 roots. Let y1 and y2 be any two roots of f of d. What is the meaning of this? y1 and y2 are roots of f of d. F of d. Okay, f of d. Or we can consider these y1 and y2 as the solutions of the given linear differential equations. So these are roots of f of d is imply, again try to think over it, that implies actually f of d into y1 is equal to 0 and f of d into y2 equal to 0. But our intention is to find the general solution. We are interested in finding the general solution of given system of equations. The given differential equation, not system of equations. So if y1 and y2 are two solutions of the given equation, then obviously their linear combination C1, let yc equal to C1 y1 plus C2 y2. This obviously the root of given homogeneous differential equation. We will be having f of d yc equal to f of d into yc means C1 y1 plus C2 y2. So C1 f of d y1 plus C2 f of d y2. F of d y1 is 0 plus f of dy 2 is 0. So we got f of dyc equal to 0. So yc is going to satisfy this equation, therefore yc is a solution of the given equation. And I use one more word here. It is not just a solution, it is a general solution. General solution of f of d into y equal to 0. Why this word general? Next question. It is simply a solution. See, y1, y2 we just called as root. The solution. Root, a solution. Usually they are synonyms. They are roots or they are solutions. But why we call this yc as general solution? So, in solution there are two types. General solution and particular solution. Okay, non-general anta helala, particular solution anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. When we say that a solution is general solution or a particular solution, that depends on constants involving in that solution. If any solution involves constants plus constants, solution involving constants is called general solution. Not involving constants minus ಅಂತ ಬರೆದಿರ್ತೀನಿ. Or a solution which is not a general solution is called particular solution. You can think in that way also. So any solution involving constant is called general solution. So YC is called general solution because it involves constants C1 and C2. And moreover we call this as complementary solution. Complementary solution, but again instead of, even if you write solution, that is not wrong, but more usually we use the word complementary function. Complementary function, because if you solve this equation again to get y, you get a function in y, function in x you get, function in x you get. So since you get the function by solving that, we will call this as a complementary function or complementary solution. You can use any word. Again there is this question, why the word complementary? So what we usually think of the word complementary, it is additional, add-on. Okay, I'll explain why the word complementary is used. Usually ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟರಿ ಗಿಫ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ವರ್ಡ್ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟರಿ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಆನ್. ಸೊ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ನಾನ್ ಹೋಮೋಜಿನಿಯಸ್ ಇಕ್ವೇಶನ್. Solution of non-homogeneous equation. Solution of non-homogeneous equation. So the general form is f of d into y equal to phi of x. Here again same the procedure we followed in the previous case. F of d, ಸೊ ನಾನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಸುತ್ತೋಕೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಗೆ ಬರ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. ಡಿ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ a1d ಪ್ಲಸ್ a0. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಪಾಲಿನಾಮಿಯಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ 2. Let yp be the particular solution of above equation f of d into y equal to phi of x. As I said again in the last minute, we are interested in finding general solution, not particular solution. So yp is taken as the particular solution of this equation, f of d into y equal to phi of x. Then what will be the general solution? Put y equal to yc. Y equal to yc plus yp. Then f of d times of y equal to f of d times of yc plus yp, which is actually f of d yc plus f of d yp. We have f of d yc equal to 0 because yc is a complementary function. So we got this as 0 plus. What about f of d yp? Because yp is also the solution, so that must be also 0. That must not be 0. That should be phi of x. Okay. So I got f of d y equal to phi of x. So y satisfies this equation. Y satisfies that equation means y is also a solution. Thus y equal to yc plus yp is the, again you have to note a point here, yc plus yp. Yp may not involve, it will not involve any constant because it is a particular solution. It won't involve any constant, but yc involves constants. So y equal to yc plus yp is the general solution of f of d into y equal to phi of x. F of d into y equal to phi of x. That is the general solution. So that is one important point you have to note down. The second important point, how to write the complementary solution of complementary solution of f of d into y equal to 0. How to determine the complementary function or complementary solution? Okay, the method, f of d into y equal to 0 will be given. F of d into y equal to 0 will be given. Definitely you will be given with this, f of d into y equal to 0. See, this part what I am going to explain now, this you can also take as working procedure of solution of homogeneous equations. Here f of d represents polynomial in D and y is the dependent variable of the given differential equation. This is actually the first step. So in the first step you have to consider the given equation, write the auxiliary equation. What is the auxiliary equation? Auxiliary equation is, you have to consider only this part, f of d, and you have to equate that to 0. Thing is, you have to replace d by m. So this is the auxiliary equation, f of m equal to 0. Polynomial in d itala, bari polynomial part matra ತಗೋಬೇಕು, y ತಗೋಬಾರ್ದು, d na m ಇಂದ replace ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. You get f of m equal to 0. So this we call as the auxiliary equation. Point number 2. This is most important again. Let the roots of auxiliary equation be, suppose you have considered differential equation of order n. Roots will be m1, m2, m3, m4 and so on mn. So this is our assumption. So there are n number of roots. At least n roots we will be having as a consequence of fundamental theorem of algebra. What are the possible cases for these roots, nature of those roots? These roots may be, definitely they are real numbers, they are defined, and either they will be real numbers or complex numbers. Okay, that is the only two possibilities. Roots, either they are real numbers or complex numbers, nothing else can be obtained. And after that, real or complex, some of them may be equal, some are equal. In both the case, whether it is a real or complex, some are equal, and all are may be equal. Who knows? All may be equal, or some of them may be equal, or all are distinct. All are distinct. So this is the general case again. Whether it is a complex number or real number, you get some of them are equal, or few of them are equal, and all are distinct. None of them are equal. That is the three possible case. First case, yeah. Suppose m1 not if, okay, I'll write like this: m1, m2, m3 and so on mn are all distinct. m1, m2, m3, m4. They are all distinct set. We are assuming like that. So same thing should be repeated for complex numbers also. Whether the roots are complex or real numbers, if they are all distinct, then your yc will be ಬರೀ ಹೋಮೋಜಿನಿಯಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ನಾವು yc ನ y ಅಂತಾನೆ ಬರಿತೀವಿ. ನಾನ್ ಹೋಮೋಜಿನಿಯಸ್ ಬಂದಾಗ yc yp ಬರೋದು. ಸೊ yc ಅಂತ ಬರಿತೀನಿ ನಾನಿಲ್ಲಿ. It is actually y in case of only homogeneous. yc will be constant into e power first root into x plus second constant into e power second root into x plus third constant into e power third root into x plus and so on. This process continues till the last root, cn e power mn x. Okay, even if you get complex numbers, for each root you have to use different constant. Second case, suppose I'll assume like this, some of them are equal. Even if all are equal, no problem, you can repeat same procedure. For time being, I'll assume m1 equal to m2 equal to m3. Okay, first three roots are equal and the remaining are all distinct. m4, m5 and mn, these are all distinct. Then I have to write the solution. So then yc will be, see m1, it is the first root and is distinct because previously all the root I consider madilala. So m1 is distinct. So as usual you have to write c1 e power m1x plus, now come to this m2, it is the repetition of previous root. That is the repetition of previous root. You have to mention it. How? By multiplying it by x. So as usual ಬರೀತೀರಿ c2 e power, see second constant use ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ c2 e power, whether you write m1x or m2x, that is not a matter because they are equal, into x. Actually this is x power 1. X power 1 means one time repetition of previous root plus, again come to m3, it is repetitive. That is the second repetition of m1. So it will be c3 e power, whether you write m1x or m3x, doesn't matter, m1x into x square, second repetition of m1. In case if you had m3 equal to m4, the next term supposed to be c4 e power m1x into x power 3, but the root m4 is distinct from previous root, so nothing to you need nothing to multiply, so it is just c4 e power m4x plus c5 e power m5x plus and so on, cn e power mnx. Now see, suppose complex roots, now complex roots ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ನಾನ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ರೂಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ x ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. See, alpha plus or minus I beta is one solution. Say when a complex number is a root, then its conjugate is also a root. That is the property of complex numbers. So alpha plus or minus I beta, this counts actually two roots, m1 m2, that actually counts two roots. So alpha plus or minus I beta comma, so I'll assume m3 m4 are all real roots and are distinct. Then yc will be e power real part x, e power real part x times c1 first constant cos beta x plus c2 sine beta x plus as usual c3 e power m3x plus c4 e power m4x plus and so on. Suppose you had, actually this is taken as general case. Suppose you had m1 equal to m2 equal to alpha plus or minus I beta, and let m3 equal to m4 equal to same thing. Again it is repeated. Again alpha plus or minus I beta. Then how to write the solution? If it is different complex number, then it will be again same thing. Plus e power real part of that complex number into x times c3 cos imaginary part x plus c4 sin imaginary part x. But suppose that is the repetition of first root, then yc will be first root as usual you have to write e power alpha x times c1 cos beta x plus c2 sin beta x plus again you have to write e power alpha x into c3 cos beta x plus c4 sin beta x times x to denote the multiplication. Next, as usual, you have to write. So this is the procedure you have to follow to write the solution. Okay, carefully observe this. If you want, you can go through it once again and then try to understand the method to write the solution. Next class we will start with the solution of homogeneous differential equation.